Hey, I'm Tom, and I have an earbud in because I'm listening to you, the people. You've been so kind and gentle with your requests. You're asking me, when do we get more jobbers? Some more WCW jobbers. And I'm like, now. I think the time is now. Your time is up. My time is now. Right now, in this rectangle, I'd like to give you some more WCW jobbers that I love. I saw a lot of it in the comments of the last videos. Again, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are great people, kind folks for the most part, a couple jerks, but I need to clarify what a jobber is and isn't. If you have entrance music, if you're under contract, if you have a gimmick, well, that's questionable. But at least the first two, not a jobber. You're a low card guy. You know, like, so plenty of people bring up High Voltage, Chaos and Rage. Like, no, they were not jobbers. They might not have won a lot of matches, but they were certainly not jobbers. Kenny Chaos was a tag team champion at one point. Not jobbers. Jerry Flynn. Folks brought up Jerry Flynn, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He had the block. He had his own basement in every arena. Jobber? Not jobber. Let's crack open our books and examine our first hero in falling down on purpose for the betterment of other men. Let me tell you something, brother, about Randy Hogan. The Ranster brother, one of the more requested enhancement wrestlers after the first video. Randy Hogan was more of a frequent job guy for the NWA in 1988 and 1989. Ironically enough, Randy took a break from WCW enhancement work after 1989 to work exclusively on WWF TV in the early 90s, you know, where Hulk Hogan was. Because of that, he had to change his name there to Scott Colton. No, he was not announced as hailing from a studio apartment. But in late 1993, Randy came back to the other side to do a couple Disney WCW tapings, including a nasty Vader beating. Randy Hogan had left by the time WCW hired Terry the Big Racist Dragon, but ironically enough, Randy's day job as a radio reporter led to him being assigned to cover Hulk's WCW arrival parade as a journalist. It's a small, bald world. This next one actually has like a whole true crime story behind him. The great Iron Mike Steele, not Sharp, Steele. Mike Steele popped up on WCW TV in May 1991, looking like he had just rolled off of someone's couch. Despite appearing as if he was just some guy from the cheap seats, Steele was actually trained by Boris Malenko, but you wouldn't know it at all by watching him. Dude was wearing sweatpants with a karate belt, not proper gi pants or anything appropriate, and the belt was just kind of wrapped around him in any haphazard way. Ron Simmons beat the tar out of this dude. The most underrated jobber destruction of this era for sure. Poor Mike's leg ended up stuck underneath him on Ron's spinebuster, and boy, he's lucky it didn't snap. Somehow Mike came back later in the taping for a match with Big Josh that aired the next week, where he changed into a second pair of sweats. Mike still never came back to work for WCW after that night. Years later in 2007, Steele was hanging with the dudes at a bar in his hometown when a drunk guy tried picking a fight with them. Mike didn't want to get physical, so he left on his motorcycle. The drunk guy hopped into his work van and followed Mike down the road, eventually ramming the van into the back of Mike's bike, causing the untimely demise of Iron Mike Steele. R.I.P. to a real one. If you mess with this guy, he might ground you from the Nintendo. It's Vern Henderson. I have no idea how old Vern Henderson is, and I'm never going to look it up. In my head, he was WCW's dad, angry at the kids for making so much noise in the ring after he had just put in 10 hours at the factory. Dude just wanted to lay back in the recliner and watch his game. Vern was a big, thick dude in the way that dudes just aren't big and thick anymore. He genuinely had that dad build. The Big V, and yes, that's really his nickname, was a regular enhancement wrestler on WCW's Disney TV tapings in the mid-90s. Vern often didn't get a lot of offense, but he could surprise you at times. He had a really unique arm drag that you never expect a dude like Vern Henderson to bust out. I don't know what happened to old Vern, but I sure hope that the kid stayed off of his darn lawn. Pro wrestling's first BDM positive enhancement wrestler, Nasty Ned Brady. Florida-based Leather Daddy was a regular on WCW TV in the mid-90s. I think he was supposed to be a biker, but he very much resembled a dude that learned about the BDSM community later in life and was just a sub trying to convince people that he was a dom. Other than a brief push in Eddie Mansfield's IWF in the early 90s, Ned's most remembered work was as a WCW enhancement wrestler. The nasty one always came off like a wrestler from a sitcom. You know how on those shows they'd write a silly one-note wrestler character on the wrestling episode with an actor overacting about what he thought a wrestler was because he saw it on TV a few times? That was Ned. He was campy and wacky and a blast. Ned's biggest claim to fame outside the ring might be as the creator of the Repo Man gimmick. As legend goes, Nasty Ned pitched it to then WWF official J.J. Dillon, who loved the character but just didn't see Ned as the guy for the role. A shame that Ned couldn't repossess a win in WCW. We need to have a serious talk here. Y'all are too smart. We've talked about this. Y'all are too smart for our YouTube shenanigans when it comes to getting you to like and subscribe and even comment on videos. And I'm not going to try to trick you at all, because you are a very mature, responsible audience. But I need to let you know something. There's a thing that YouTube does when a channel hits 100,000 subscribers. It's like a plaque called a play button that they give out. I desperately need one. I have 2 children, 2 boys. They don't respect me at all. I need their admiration. And this is where you can help me as a viewer. You subscribe, first off, big help there, but also liking and commenting boosts these videos, like this one that you're watching here, boosts them into the almighty algorithm, and then more people will subscribe. You know, as of the recording of this video, I'm around a little under 55,000 subscribers. I need the rest. I need the push, the big oomph, so that I can get that plaque, so I can show my children that my life's work is worth something. Please like, subscribe, comment. The more eyeballs that this gets, the more subs I get, and the next thing you know, I'm Cool Dad. From the best town in America, Smasher Stone. Old Smasher is another fella who only popped up in WCW once in August of 1990. He immediately stands out though because of that thing on the back of his head. It's too small to be a ponytail, too big to be a rat tail. Dude was like a gender-swapped Peggy Lee Leather. But much like Rick Hardrock's name was too cool to not push him, Smasher's hometown was the same. Knockem Stiff, Ohio. And yes, that is a real town. The origin of the town believed to be from a preacher that was advising women that someone should, quote, knock 'em stiff after witnessing them fighting over a man. Smasher wasn't great, to be honest. The New Fantastics kept having to move him into position for different things. But hey, he tried hard. Look at this arm drag! How cool! But Smasher kept having to tag Chuck Coates in when the Fulton brothers would want to do anything too complicated. Nonetheless, Smasher Stone left an impression on me forever, just for being real weird. Positive. Smasher Stone knocked my heart stiff, that's for sure. I don't know how y'all are gonna feel about this one, because he's kind of borderline. Pretty Boy Doug Summers. This one might be controversial because the Pretty Boy was a push star in the AWA, part of one of the last great rivalries in that company's history, alongside Buddy Rose against the Midnight Rockers. But when he popped up in WCW in fall of 1991, you would have never known he was a former World Tag Team Champion. Heck, there were times you wouldn't have known he'd ever been inside of a wrestling ring before. Fans who knew of his AWA history were sad to see him get eaten up by the likes of Arachnaman and Elegante like a common Cajun predator. To Doug's credit, a payday is a payday, and we gotta respect that. Summers did score a rare pay-per-view enhancement match, losing to Van Hammer in 1 minute at Halloween Havoc 1991. His time in WCW was brief, but Pretty Boy Doug Summers was like a candle in the wind. And last but not least, I had to go all the way out of town to find this guy. It's Snake Brown. A lot of enhancement wrestlers in this era came off like total train wrecks in the ring because, well, they were total train wrecks. Snake Brown was a competent wrestler who was really good at appearing to be a total train wreck. The man from out of town was a longtime journeyman in the Georgia area, working on TBS years before Turner bought WCW. In addition to his fecal punt wrestling name, Snake's calling card was that great head of hair. Big, gray, poofy. That is a pro wrestler do if I've ever seen one. His most memorable moment might be the brief TV storyline he got in 1990, where he was able to hypnotize Norman the Lunatic by doing whatever that is, and potentially turn him evil. But we never got to learn what Snake's powers could do, as Norman quickly got his trucker's license soon thereafter. Unfortunately, Snake passed away a few years ago, but let's hope that he's off somewhere in the afterlife wearing those baggy pants and making wrestling weird beyond the pearly gates. So there you have it, some more jobbers that I love. Had so much fun today getting to tell you about them. So tell me again, if you didn't do so before in the last jobber video that I made, come into the comments of this one. Tell me, hey, I like so-and-so. Tell me, hey, Tom, again, what the F is up with the gambler? Why isn't he involved? Again, future video, but please tell me. Just tell me anything. You have a problem in your life, just leave a comment. I like to interact with you all. You're the best. Like, comment, subscribe. You help me, I help you. It's all good. And again, I'm on Twitch. Right there. Look at that. Right there. Right there. Look at that. Good stuff. Been great hanging with you. Talking some jobbers. Again, my name is Tom. I need to trim my yard.